Call the meeting to order. Adequate notice of this meeting being held this 6th day of February 2025 at 7:31 has been provided in accordance with Section 3D of Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, commonly known as the Sunshine Law. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
New York,
Here.
Nelson, here, Cotton,
Here.
Kenny,
Here.
Lindsay, O'Brien,
Here.
Decker,
Here.
Mooney, here. Thank you.
Thank you. A motion to open for public comment on the agenda.
Make a motion to open the public comments on the agenda.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Butler?
They're welcome for 24 Charlestown Road. Two things for the two resolutions. For resolution 2025-29, if you could summarize that for us. I tried reading it, but I got very lost in the verbatim of it. It's pretty blah, 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 blah. So that, if you could do that when you go to pass it. And then also resolution 2025-30. I just have some comments. You say JCP&L, but inside there's JCP&L, PSEG. It's a mix and match. And then also it talks about the wanting to put in a new utility pole. And on the site plan, there's a utility pole right next to it, existing utility pole, and then they're gonna propose a new one. So I'd like to understand why they need a new one and also what they're gonna do with the existing one. Since it looks to me, it's right next to it. And then, when they say when you say in the resolution improvements within the right of way, I'd like to understand what those improvements mean. Thank you.
Thank you. Brother?
Before I come on road, two things. The donation to the Muskinec Watershed Association. Have we done that in the past?
Well, that's not really an agenda item, so we can discuss that under public comment.
On the agenda?
Yeah, it's a question about whether it should be on the agenda or not. Not a discussion about any items. We'll discuss them when they come up in part of the agenda.
So
Are you asking
we can't discuss that right now.
Hmm?
We can't discuss.
Are you asking for it to be stricken from the agenda?
No, it's on the agenda, so we're not allowed to ask a question about it now.
We'll cover it during the agenda. Discussion item.
So we have to wait.
Yes. Thank you. Well,
So on that note, if you're gonna, I understand you're talking about if you're gonna put it on or not, then you need to talk about the other watershed as well. We live in two watersheds. So you can't just, I live in the other watershed. That watershed is more important to me.
Again, it's not. that's not
I
the
understand,
agenda.
but it's not, as Steve pointed out, it certainly isn't clear. And it's never been on the agenda like
We'll be
this
very clear when
before.
we get, we'll be very clear when we get to that
And there
point.
seems to be a conflict of interest.
I disagree, and it'll be very clear when we get to that point. Thank
You
you.
actually have it on,
Motion to close public comment on the
have it
agenda.
on whole business and.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Have a motion to adopt regular and executive session minutes for December 19th, 2024.
I make a motion to adopt regular and executive session minutes of December 19th, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Actually, Mr. Guy,
There's a five, yeah.
you're allowed to advance it, but you can't vote to approve. So we want abstention from Mr. Guy.
Thank
Have a motion to adopt regular and executive session minutes of January 16th, 2025.
Make a motion to adopt regular and executive session minutes of January 16th, 2025.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. On to resolutions, we'll take each one, since there were questions, we'll take them individually. Resolution 2025-26, authorizing CFO to pay regular bills to avoid finance charges.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2025.26, authorizing CFO to pay the regular bills.
Have a second. Have a second.
Second.
I would ask for a roll call on this. It's a finance.
Cotton,
Yes.
Kenny,
yes,
Mr. Lindsay, Nelson,
Yes.
Muir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 2025.27 to refund for logic for block 5, block 19.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2025.27 to refund for logic.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. A motion to adopt resolution 2025.28, recognizing April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2025.28, recognizing April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Second.
Second.
Very worthy resolution. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ask for the motion, and then we'll have a discussion or explanation. I have a motion to introduce resolution 2025.29, committing to fourth round affordable housing present and prospective need numbers.
I make a motion to introduce resolution 2025.29.
I have a second.
Second.
So the resolution, every town has to adopt a resolution, either accepting or challenging the numbers that were presented to them. Bethlehem Township was presented with the number of 51 homes to build. Does not preclude us from going through the procedure to address how we construct those, whether it's a durational adjustment as we have done in the past rounds. We've worked with our planner and we found no need to challenge the number of 51. So that's what this resolution is accepting and acknowledging the 51 for our next round of affordable housing. Mr. O'Reilly, if there's anything else that you would feel to add to that explanation?
Yeah, so we're required, in order for this municipality to have immunity from builders remedies lawsuits, we have to be involved in this process and file what's called a declaratory judgment action in Hunter County Superior Court that essentially says we accept these numbers. Notably, most towns are arguing based upon vacant land adjustments. And in Bethlehem Township, there's a 0.0% vacant land adjustment. So we really have nothing to argue over. Now, what that means is the state is saying there's a vacant space that would be suitable for an opportunity for affordable housing. So since our number is 0, we're not gonna be able to negatively adjust our number downward. Just by way of comparison, Clinton Township has 174 units, Alexandria Township 75 units, and so we're on the lower side for a current prospective need for affordable housing. So we're essentially going to consent to that number, and with that, we get immunity from some large developer builder coming in on a builder's remedy lawsuit that would compel the construction of, perhaps density that we wouldn't otherwise find acceptable, or perhaps a number of units. So it's we spoke with our planner and we're going to agree to that number. I'm going to file the lawsuit tomorrow.
Thank you for the explanation. We'll do a roll call vote on this one, too, as well.
Well, we might have motion to introduce. Do we need a motion to accept resolution? You said introduce.
One motion,
Accept.
okay, motion to adopt.
Well, yeah, motion to adopt. I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025.29.
Second for adoption.
Second.
A roll call vote. Please.
Cotton,
Yes.
Kenny,
yes,
Lindsay, Nelson,
Yes.
Muir.
Yes.
Thank you.
And resolution 2025.30, approving JCPenney easement to service cell tower project, block 32, lot 55. Initially a cell tower, it's to service the first response emergency tower across the way. I would ask when we adopt this, I do believe that it was improperly stated that PSC&G in 2 locations should be JCP&L. But this is a standard template easement that the county legal department has sent so that they can finish all the appropriate electrical hookups and anything else they may need to make the tower functional for our first responders. There's no other significant construction expected at this time, no other finishing, nothing else that would be a disturbance beyond what's already there now. So you have a motion to adopt resolution 2025.30 with the amendment of where it says PSC&G that JCP&L is in place.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2025.30 with proposed changes.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I have a motion to pay all bills in the amount of $160,449.92.
I make a motion to pay the bills in that amount.
Do I have a second? Second. Roll call, please.
Cotton,
Yes.
Kenny,
yes,
Lindsay, Nelson,
Yes.
Muir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Report of municipal engineer.
Few updates, for DOT funded projects, the two Williver, the two Fox Farm, sections, Williver and the cul-de-sacs within. As I think I mentioned at the last meeting, the core results came back. There were penalties assessed to the paving company for compaction. They didn't reach compaction requirements. They've elected to engage a third-party coring company at their own expense to challenge the other cores. They would not replace the prior cores. What happens is they get averaged. So this could be to their benefit, or it could be to their detriment, depending on how the results come back. Once we have that, then we can work on closing out the project.
What's the timeframe?
They did the cores about 2.5 weeks ago.
To their company?
Yes, they've done the cores. They're waiting for the lab reports to come back. So basically, I spoke to them. They don't get paid anything until after we resolve this. We've also started on putting together the plans for Hickory Ridge Section 1. So we can get that down to DOT and approved and get that one set up for this year. We have I was contacted by DEP with regards to, we do our annual stormwater report, as far as our educational points and everything. They reached out to me. They want to come in and meet and just to kind of go through all the paperwork that we've submitted, and they want to take a tour of the DPW yard and arrive around 10th. So we're scheduling that. That will probably be either next week or the following.
Let me know the dates on that as well.
What's that?
Let me know the dates. And
Will do. Yeah. Speaking of grants, last week we submitted the DCA grant for the local recreation infrastructure grant. Typically, when we've applied for Heritage Park. We changed things up this year. We met with mayor and deputy mayor at the community center, so we're looking at some improvements there to make it more usable year round and include some additional amenities. So we should find out about that hopefully in the spring. And then lastly, with recreation improvements, we're scheduling a meeting with a vendor for the pickleball court at Heritage Park. Right now, I think that's tentatively scheduled for sometime next week. So we can get that project moving before the weather breaks. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Decker? Thank you, Mr. Cannon. Okay, do we have any issues? I don't believe we have any issues for Mr. Decker for executive this evening, correct? Mr. Like you can be excused.
Okay, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you for your report. Report of public safety officials. Actually, we have many out in the audience tonight. I would say we're going to listen to your reports as we go. So we'll table this for the state police representative as usually who's here. But since we have our fire and rescue companies, you're always welcome. We leave this on the agenda for you. So if you would always like to join us, it's not just for the state police. So if you'd like to join us, it's a standing invitation for anything that you might need to share with us at each of these meetings. The only thing I'm going to add is put in the mayor's report, but I'll share it here with public safety report. In order with our new state police representative, we've had some issues on Black Brook Road, which are recurrence for speeding, and somebody walking their dog almost getting hit. So we've been asking for some additional patrols. And we'll be requesting a temporary speed digital sign from Bill Hunter to put out on Blackthorn. We try to address these as they come up and, have the state police address roads that appear to become dangerous for those who are walking on. Moving on to appointments, I'm tabling the Environmental Commission Chair appointment until the next meeting. And then the mayoral appointment to the Environmental Commission with expiration of term December 31st, 2026, for Teresa Conover, now filling an unexpired term. So tonight we have, listed as visitors, our report of our volunteer fire and rescue companies. As I usually share, this is one of my favorite meeting nights because we get to see everybody who's out there keeping us safe and protecting Bethlehem Township. I do respect that you probably had long days today as well, with the ice and the start of the day the way it was. So we'll follow, reports, based on what is here on the agenda, starting with, Bloomsbury Host Company. If you could come up, and stand by the microphone, the camera will pick up best. And, share with us.
Gonna start going alphabetically. Multiple copies of my report, if anybody would like one, I'll leave them on the table. We discussed in a little private meeting earlier that we're all gonna keep it brief, and then, Chief Rob Walton is gonna go into depth a little bit more, just so we can keep things moving along. So I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of, for Bloomsbury Host Company, we responded to 188 total calls for the year, 118 were in Bethlehem Township. 42 were under 78 alone, so everybody likes to know that. So there were 49 fires between vehicle, wire fires and structures, 25 alarms, 39 motor vehicle accidents, 4 hazmats, and 1 medical assist. I'll attach to my paperwork is my proposed budget for 2025 as requested by the chief. So any questions from me? Thank you for everything you guys do for us.
Thank you. Thank you. We have, Franklin Township Fire Company. I'll switch up next year. What's your first?
Hello, so, for those who don't know me, my name is Tom Schaefer, Franklin Township Deputy Chief, lifelong resident Bethlehem Township.
Yeah.
For total Franklin calls, that's for the department wise, was 141 last year. 16 out of them calls were in Bethlehem Township. One of them calls was a structure fire. We managed all 5 companies to save the building. It was just going off in the basement. We managed to get in there in the nick of time to put it out and minimal damage for the homeowner. Last year, we purchased 1,000 feet of fire hose, 2 sets of turnout gear, and new battery operated rescue tools. We have 1 member enrolled in the Warren County Fire Academy this year. They're trying something new this year. They're enrolling, everyone who enrolls is gonna be going through Fire 1 and Fire 2. So when they graduate, they're gonna have Fire 1 and Fire 2 certificates. In 25, we're gonna continue our recruiting efforts, our fundraising efforts, including our 2nd annual car show. Last year was a big success for us. We had 85 total cars, 10 vendors throughout the day, so it was great event for us. Any questions?
Actually, so with the combined training, is that a longer period then if they're, your recruits are going through the?
I believe it's gonna be a little longer training, like they started almost a month ago, I wanna say, and I think June they're gonna end. It's a little bit longer than it usually is.
Just curiosity, it's a good change.
Yep, hopefully it's a successful class and they continue that, so it works out good.
All right, further questions, other questions from committee, Mr. Kenny? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Glen Gardner Fire.
Good evening. My name's AJ Stevens, Deputy Chief of Glen Fire Company. I've probably met a few of you a couple times before. So basic breakdowns of what we've done this year is we've had 181 calls, which is a total, and it's up 7% in our history. It's actually the most calls we've ever had. The other thing is we've had 36 calls in Bethlehem Township. 17 of them were fires. Other were 5 building fires. The average of 6 firefighters each call. We've had 1,170 man hours, 1,760 hours of training this year. We have now 5 new members. We have 3 members just completed firefighter 1. We are growing like crazy, and we have also bought a new truck to replace our 82 Pierce that has mechanically been failing. So now we have a 91 Pierce, which is very low hours, very low mileage, and is in excellent shape. We're currently putting it together, and we're working very well with our crews in surrounding areas. Our company is growing really well, and overall, we thank you for everything you do for us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and, glad to see, congratulations on the new truck.
Thank you.
I was in Newark and saw an odd, as you guys called yours, an oddball, it was the one,
Yeah.
floating around there.
Yep.
A couple of weeks ago.
That was a fun truck. We enjoyed it, and then it's just out of time or needed to be replaced, so we came up with this, and this would be an excellent unit for us.
Well, congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you.
Any other further? Hampton Fire Company, or do you want to, Rob, you're gonna go last, or do you want to do an interim? Yeah. So Pattenberg,
Hello all, I'm Chief of Pattenberg, Mike Sadowski. Our numbers for the last year, we had 325 total for the year, 106 in Bethlehem Township. That was our primary and, mutual and automatic aid into, along 78. As Mike stated, we're out there quite often. So a couple of things we'll have going this year. We're going to be modifying our 1 engine for new extrication tools we already have. We had 3 recruits pass their Fire 1 class last year and have 3 enrolling again this year. The 3 this year, 2 are juniors, 1's of regular age. So as soon as he's through his class, he's going to be ready to go. The juniors will just have to, make it another year or 2, and then they'll be good to go running calls. Just wanted to mention that, I've been in contact with Jeff Lee quite often about road closures and stuff. So it's just been good keeping in contact with him. He contacts us if he's got something going on. So it's just been working really well.
good communication, thank you.
Yeah, so that's it for me. And I'll give Paul the breakdown of the calls.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Committee, Rob Walton, Chief of Hampton Fire Company. We had 131 calls last year in Hampton. 32 of those were in Bethlehem Township. As the Deputy Chief of Franklin mentioned, one of them was a structured fire here in Bethlehem Township. We celebrated our 125th last year. You guys recognized us for that. Thank you again for that recognition. We made progress on our mini pumper. Again, we're adding that apparatus to our fleet, mainly because of some of the tight driveways and narrow roads here in Bethlehem Township. So it'll be our first new vehicle in Bethlehem Township. It'll also be a rescue vehicle for any motor vehicle accidents on Route 31. We had one firefighter graduated from firefighter 1, just had his graduation ceremony last night. Very proud of that. 28 different members of our fire company responded to calls last year. So we're seeing very good turnout from our members. Some turned out to 90% of the calls, some 20%, but we're very happy that we've got a good crew of people coming to our call on a regular basis. I do want to touch on how we've been working together as 5 fire companies. We did, as I said, have that one structured fire last year in Asbury, in Bethlehem Township side of Asbury. And that's a good example of how we fight fires here in Hunterdon County and Bethlehem Township. All 5 companies responded. Franklin was first to. They were the engine that made immediate entry. I was able to put a good knock on the fire. The other 4 companies responded, provided water supply. There's had manpower for overhaul, command. Because it was a structured fire and it may not have been put out so quickly, we expanded the call to a tanker task force. So we had a tanker from the west side of the county respond. A fill engine from the town of Clinton came to the site. We also had a rapid intervention team from Washington Borough. So when we fight a fire here in Hunterdon County, Bethlehem Township, it isn't just one town or the 5 companies. It very often escalates and expands to a full county response, even outside the county response. So we appreciate their support in those activities. We have meeting quarterly as fire chiefs to make sure that we're all on the same page about response, about how we're operating with each other. We did 2 joint drills this year. One drill was in the spring. We did a large amber hose drill and drafting drill. We used portable pumps because oftentimes we don't have a good water supply in the township, so we wanted to try to replicate that kind of a scenario. We put the portable pumps by a pond, grabbed it from the pond, and then through multiple engines, sent the water several thousand feet to see what kind of flow we could get. And it's a good scenario for the kind of fire we might fight here in Bethlehem Township. In the fall, we did a live burn drill, all 5 companies together up at the Emergency Services Training Center. We mixed our crews together, so we had some experience working with each other. If we have a daytime call when we are more lightly staffed, it's very likely we're going to have different people from different companies all going in the building at the same time together. So it's good for us to work together and to have that kind of a training session. Better to do it in training before the real thing should happen. We do thank you for our annual appropriation. We would like to ask for a rotating capital appropriation amongst the fire companies of $20,000 to help us supply some of the needed equipment that we have. You just heard Glenn Garner had to procure a new fire engine. We bought new extrication tools as well. Franklin had extrication tools purchased last year. It does get more expensive, and these equipment does get quite pricey. We do have one item that we'd like to suggest you purchase for us this year. We want to go in and buy a training door apparatus. This would be a way to train on forcible entry. It's about $9,000, and we would rotate that between the departments and could drill and train on that piece of apparatus and learn how to better get into a building should the door be locked. We continue to meet regularly and continue to work well together, and we appreciate all of the support Bethlehem Township gives us. Any questions I can answer for you folks?
Well, thank you, and thank you for working together. We realize the challenges of volunteer availability, finances, and that's the best way to keep continuing to proceed until we find some other solutions as well. The $20,000 rotating, so you're thinking that each year one company would.
Yes, each year the 5 of us would come together with a joint purchase as we are this year with the door.
It's a very real consideration. You know, my CFO is looking at me very cautiously, but last year we started to have some discussions on Mr. Kenny some credit for these. You know, we tried to put together a capital fund for our improvements, road improvements. We're almost debt free in Bethlehem Township, but while we've head down that debt, we've been building up a capital fund so that we don't go back into debt. I think, you know, there are more and more challenges for us as well financially, but I would like to find some way to put together a capital fund this year. I don't know if it's the $20,000 rotating or we just restart a fund and then there's requests made to draw upon them. But it is something that will be part of our budget discussions going forward. So I'm glad that you presented that, and I'm not making any guarantees. We're going to try our best to find some solution. That would include rescue as well, not just fire. So these are considerations that we understand and we'll try to help support.
That's as good as an answer as I could expect tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we're actually, I guess, South Branch is, great. No, you come on up, Spanberg. I don't want to, when I start to get out of, alphabetical order.
That's right. My name's Tom Lashley, Chief of the Pattenberg Rescue Squad. Last year we did 1,271 calls, of which 217 were in Bethlehem. 45 of the 60 MVAs that were in Bethlehem Township were on 78. Right now, career and volunteer hours were last year were just under 20,000. Shift staff last year were 2,258. Again, everybody's got the same struggles. I know you guys have put stuff on your website. I mean, I don't know how many people are online right now, but the word's gonna have to get out to people in general. The staffing is gonna be to a point where instead of a 5-minute ambulance, you're gonna get a 20-minute ambulance. So at nighttime tonight, take that into consideration, sit and look at the clock 5 minutes, respiratory distress or something, and then do it for 15, 20, 25 minutes. It's getting to that point, it's getting critical. We do have mutual aid people that do help us. We do rely on them. We do, act on it. If we know that like we're not going to be able to get out and stuff like that, we make sure that it's getting done automatically. As far as our medical supply costs, there was a 20% increase. The vehicle maintenance was almost an 80% increase. Payroll was almost another 25% increase. I think the only thing that was a slight decrease was in the fuel, probably because we went from a diesel motor to a gas motor in a new ambulance. But I think we do appreciate what you guys do for us and have done for us in the past. I just try to get you guys to be aware of the, I don't know how many, again, people are on there, but the word's just not getting out. You're not getting any people coming through. And the older ones, as they're retiring, are not being able to do it. The newer ones, we just had 2 go through. There's none for this spring semester. It's gonna be tough. Within 5 years, it's gonna be real tough for a lot of these towns. So that's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you.
Good, good.
Sorry, I do have a question. Is there any reimbursement, this is all new to me, reimbursement for the state, from the state for any incidents on Route 78?
So we bill for like the insurance. So if we go out there, we transport a person, it goes through the medical to their insurance company. The thing is, if you're on Medicaid, we get $55. So that's it, no matter what we use. If it's Medicare, we get $550. That's it. So, we can't balance bill anything different than that. And then if it's a motor vehicle accident, we go through our insurance. But if we're not doing extrication or anything like that, it's just maybe just a transport and that's it. So.
We have just some history, as a municipality, we approach the state, and not just us, I mean, everybody up and down 78, up and down 31, up and down 130 in central Jersey, and whatever highways, I don't know about South Jersey, I've talked to mayors, when we go to the, conferences and leagues. And unfortunately, because it is a statewide issue, the state usually says there's too many state police and municipal towns on state highways that we don't have a way to reimburse, and it's up to you to go figure it out. We realize this is a huge burden. I mean, that's what, I'm listening, I'm reading your reports, but I take notes as well. And so I look at the accidents on 78. It's Bethlehem Township, but it's not our people living here. You're there to serve everyone. We're here to serve within our bounds. We meet those needs, but it's a huge undertaking to have 78 come through our town and have to respond. There is no real funding for it other than occasional grants that come from the federal government once in a while. South Branch.
Mayor, Council. I'm Chris Miller, I'm the Deputy Chief of Department for South Branch. Just to give you guys a little bit of overview from last year, 2024 found us running 4,239 emergencies total as a department, with 111 being in Bethlehem Township, which is slightly down from 116 from the year prior. We gave mutual aid to surrounding departments 412 times, while we only received it 14 times, with the majority of those incidents being emergencies greater than the 4th one undue. We've got a partnership with Huntington Medical Center for non-emergency transports back to facilities out of the hospital, which has provided us 262 runs out of there, which are only handled when it will not affect our primary emergency responses. We saw 3,533 patients last year, with 2,888 of them being transported. Excuse me, our response times, average total is 7 minutes and 13 seconds, with Bethlehem Township being just shy of 11 minutes, and the national average being about 15 minutes for rural areas. So we are continuing to excel there. We've launched an apprentice program within our agency with assistance of grant funding. It allows us to be able to hire regular folks from the street. We put them through class, and then we have them contracted with us for 2 years following that as career employees. We are seeing positive results with that. We do have approximately 11 new staff members from that program presently. Our increase in our volunteer base, we saw about 30 volunteers come onto the department last year. However, due to attrition, we only are up about 12 volunteers. As everybody in this room has already said, we all have different challenges. One of our major ones, we have 3 ambulances that are greater than 10 years old. Our breadwinner is just approaching 160,000 miles. We're quite honestly not sure how it's still going, but it is. We also have equipment that's coming end of life. Our stretchers and load systems
which secure the patients in the back of the ambulances. They're about $72,000 each. And we have 3 of those that are coming up that are gonna need replacement. We also have 2 Lucas units. Lucas is the automated CPR machine that we have. We have 2 of those coming end of life, and those each are $22,000. We do, presently, we are getting help from the town of Clinton and Clinton Township to try to help bolster our ambulances. We do have 2 that are probably gonna be remounted, which is a significant decrease in cost of that of a brand new ambulance. They literally take the box off the chassis, refurbish it, and put it on a new one. So we're looking to cut costs there. We are also well utilizing our internal training center. We are the training site for basic EMT class in Hunterdon County. Last year, our training center saw 72 classes with 516 total students having been taught last year. And that's anything ranging from CPR all the way up through EMT and every medical class in between that we are able to offer. That is really all I have. You guys have reports in front of you. In further detail, everything that I went over. Does anybody have any questions for me to bring back?
Any questions?
Mayor, if I might ask one question, do you know if the results of the emergency services study that was performed, do you know if they've been compiled yet, or was?
There is a draft that I have not seen yet, but I know the draft is completed. So we'll keep everybody updated on that.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. With that, yeah, so we, those who don't know, Bethlehem Township contracted with an independent consultant to review emergency services, hoping to find some better ways to support you. Mr. Kramer is, I would say independent. He's from Cincinnati, so no real relationship, has an extensive history in I'd say both from the academic and practical side of emergency response. So I want to thank everyone for participating with him. I do know he has a draft ready. None of us have seen the draft yet. So we'll be reviewing that and then bringing that to you, seeing if there's some other ways that, again, we can help. I'm going to use the word, for myself. I don't speak to the other committee members, but feeling inadequate because, we're up here. You come out and share a report with us and you're out there doing all the work. And so we want to try to find ways to support that and be good municipal partners because you're serving Bethlehem Township in ways that can't be replaced. So each year we do have serious discussions about what we can do and hopefully find some better ways to support you. There are some global challenges that you've all shared. The volunteerism is an issue for you and for many other organizations. So we can try to find some ways, but there's no silver bullet for that. And then funding is a challenge as we continue on, but we'll continue to review what we can do and hopefully try to find some capital contributions that we can establish and hopefully continue to grow. So thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for your dedication every single day and being out there for us. I'd like to, Mr. Lindsay, I do apologize. He is our OEM. He does appreciate his relationship with all of you. He's a police officer and unfortunately had a conflict that he couldn't avoid working this evening. But he and I would love to sit down too. I know we used to meet at least once a year. So Mr. Lindsay, I know is in communication with you on a regular basis. But to be honest, I'd love to sit and we can share. And part of that will be the discussion about that report once we finally have that. But again, thank you very much for everything that you do. With our deepest gratitude. And you're welcome to stay for the meeting, or you can go get some rest. Because I'm sure it's a busy day out there. You all have other full-time commitments as well. So thank you.
Good night.
I will put you on last night.
I didn't introduce myself either, but most everyone knows.
Hey, Jim. Okay.
Nice to meet you. Yes. Have a good night.
Under all business, we have a discussion for donation request from Martin Watershed Association, tabled in the previous meeting. There is it's a partner request from another headwaters association. We have a motion to open the discussion.
Make a motion to open discussion?
We have a second.
Second.
You second.
It's second.
Hey, you second the discussion. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we'll start our discussion here first. And I think there were some questions about previous contributions, how we handle these, and our consistency and any conflicts of interest. So we do, I'll turn over to Deputy Mayor Nelson, who has a full list of our continuous support from all organizations that help support the environment within Bethlehem Township.
Yeah, so, when the questions came up last meeting, I met with Jen, because I knew that we donate to various organizations, environmental organizations, like as the mayor stated. Four in general. Now, these records go back to, we went back to basically 2012 is how far it goes back. And there's four different areas that we do donate to, and also our membership of. The New Jersey Highlands Coalition, Musconecton Watershed Association, the Raritan Headwaters Association, and the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commission. Various amounts, I said, do we donate every single year? Pretty much. There might be 1 or 2 years where it's been skipped since 2012. I would say the Headwaters Association generally, can I say the number?
Sure.
Pretty much averaged about, I would say, $300 to $500 per year. Musconecton Watershed Association.
So it's Raritan Headwaters between 300 and 500.
Yeah, between 300 and 500 for Raritan. And Musconecton basically, with various, but I would say goes from anywhere from 100 to 500 per year. The New Jersey Association of the New Jersey Environmental Commissions generally average between 360 to 425. And the Highlands Coalition basically is a membership with a couple of donations thrown in, go right around $50 per year. So that's the history on the donations, and hopefully that answers any questions. I don't have a
Yeah, sure.
open it up.
I'll just share, in recent years, we've tried to keep the Musconecton Watershed Association and the Raritan Headwaters Association equal, about $500. They both perform relatively similar tasks. I think we have a strong relationship with both, and we appreciate the cleanup and the stewardship that they both provide. So that's where it's been for quite a few years. I know the questions came up, but we do this in public every year, so it's kind of odd, but that's what it is. I have a motion to open for public comment on this.
I make a motion to open for public comment.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any public comment? So,
So I apologize, I do see the Raritan Headwaters on there, and if I forgot to ask before that it was always on there, I apologize. So what did you say you're gonna do for each of them this year?
I would like to see, we haven't voted on yet, but I'll tell you, I'm gonna propose 500 for each.
For each of them watersheds, and then
Sure.
the Antec and Highlands Coalition is,
Highlands, we'll probably just pay our annual dues of $50 and,
That comes up a little bit later.
Yeah.
They're not on the agenda for tonight. It's just the
Right,
Musconecton and Raritan.
I know my organization gets a letter from them in September for, they're crazy schedules, whatever. And Antec, what was that one?
we haven't received their request yet either, but
So it doesn't the environmental commission, get involved, does it come out of our umbrella organization?
the membership dues usually comes out of that, but not the donation.
Ah, right, okay. All right. Thank you.
And a vote come.
Report it, Ryan Road. Thank you. You answered my questions on both of those. I do have one question. Since Mr. Cotton is on the board of the Musconecton watershed, is he gonna be allowed to vote on this?
No.
Okay, and we were under the assumption that there was not gonna be a quorum, that's why the zoning was tabled.
Correct.
So, I guess my question is, I mean, there's four of you here, I mean, what constitutes a quorum?
It was a quorum of members that are able to vote. So, I will give some liberties because this is not a topic we're discussing. But I would be recusing myself.
Okay,
I would assume Mr. Cotton, I have not confirmed, but Mr. Cotton would likely recuse himself based on his experience level of the topic. And so you only have two individuals, to vote on that. And
so that answers that question.
and I do think it's a serious enough, issue that I would like all 5 committee members, so this is my preference.
I agree with you
But
100%.
I don't think it's fair to have a topic that's of such great importance when somebody can't be here, so I
No.
would want all 5.
And we were given adequate notes, so that was perfect. So, thank you. You answered all the questions.
Thank you. Motion to close for public comment on this, topic.
Make a motion to close public comment.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. I have a motion to approve the donation in the amount of $500 for the Muscatine County Watershed Association.
I make a motion to approve that donation.
Second, Mr. Kenny,
A second.
roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cotton,
Abstain.
Mr. Kenny,
Yes.
Mr. Lindsay, Nelson,
Yes.
Muir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, motion carries. Under new business, discussion for determination of the year 2025 budget workshop dates. Proposing February 20th, 2025 and March 6th, 2025, at 6 P.M. We need to discuss this, so, motion to open.
I make a motion to open.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we used to do these, meetings early morning, and then, due to work schedules, we moved them to the evening. And also, we hope that the public participates in our budget hearings as well, and see what the process is. There's questions about how dollars are spent, especially in an inflationary period. We're very open on how we do everything here at Bethlehem Township. But Mr. Cotton, you're new to the committee, so we're respectful of your schedule. Ms. Nelson and Mr. Kenny, I don't know if you've had any changes to your schedules. With 6 P.M., so what we just essentially do, we go into the budget meeting, the February 20th, or the first budget meeting starts at 6. There's a lot of discussion, so it usually takes us right into the 7:30 meeting. We'll take a quick bathroom and water break.
Yeah.
And then go right into the township meeting. The second meeting, is usually not, there's usually a little bit more of a break in between, because we'll sort things pretty quickly. But is 6 P.M. Acceptable to start those?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion to close the discussion.
Make a motion to close discussion.
The second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve February 20th, 2025 and March 6th, 2025 at 6 P.M. for public budget hearing meetings?
I make a motion to approve those dates at that time.
I have a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. So those will be published and advertised. We don't generally, we'll discuss it. Those we usually don't, produce on Zoom, but we can do that this year. I'm getting, yeah, so we'll check with you, afterwards. But in the past we hadn't, we just went to the public meeting on Zoom, but, I don't see any reason why those can't be shared as well.
We can do that.
Thank you.
I think we did it last year, by the way, Paul.
Did we do it? Okay, I knew we wanted to do it, so I didn't remember. I said, we want to share, we want people to understand as much as they can how we come up with the budget and what pressures that we face to try to balance, as a committee. Next new business item is a discussion determination of April 26, 2025, townwide cleanup day and authorizing requests for vendor proposals of the same. A motion open for discussion.
Make a motion to open that discussion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any issue with April 25th, as cleanup day?
May 25th or 26th.
26th, sorry, April 26th. Okay, and, then we would be, authorizing a request for proposal from, waste haulers, as we typically do. And then, I believe, Ms. Nelson, you were interested in potentially working on the tree.
Yeah, I'll pick up for the trees where Steve left off. I just need to know exactly where he got them.
Okay, we'll work on that, and the environmental commission does it there.
Yeah.
The organization meeting, it offers some support as well, so coordinate all together.
What do we go for?
To buy all the trees and bring them to help
Jose is
coordinate.
gonna work.
I'll pick that task up.
I think Jose Reyes is gonna work with you on that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll talk with those. I just gotta figure out, I know Steve, I think had to drive all the way down to Jackson to get it. That's the only part that's. I'll do it.
Then I don't wanna add, we can have further discussions, but Steve used to, run the clothing drive as well.
I could look into it.
We can-
I'm not exactly sure. I know that was kind of his own project. That wasn't sponsored by the town, but I'll see what he
I
did.
think we know who we work with. We reach out
I mean,
to
you
them.
could, yeah, whoever, yeah, I don't know, did he do that? Well, I don't think he authorized, work with any of the township resources for that.
No, but I think he,
Well, we can reach out to him.
yeah, Lord, yeah.
Yep, okay.
So motion to close discussion.
Make a motion to close discussion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? A motion to approve April 26, 2025 as townwide cleanup day, and authorizing request for vendor proposals for the same.
Okay, and make a motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. And our last discussion item is donation request from the Raritan Headwaters Association. Get a motion opening the discussion.
I make a motion to open that discussion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So the Raritan Headwaters request was, just for full disclosure, they asked for $1,000 this year. Again, I think we try to keep, the two associations similar or in parity, so, I would suggest $500. There's no objection. Have a motion to close the discussion.
Make a motion to close discussion.
Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Have a motion to approve a donation amount of $500 to the Raritan Headwaters Association.
I make a motion to approve that donation.
Have a second.
Second.
And roll call vote, please.
Cotton,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yes.
Mr. Lenzi, Nelson,
Yes.
Muir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Report of municipal zoning official, was emailed to us. We are getting official reports now. We'll figure out some way that we can share them because sometimes there's personal information that we can't share for violations. One update that I will share, I spoke to our new zoning officer, last Friday, trying to find a solution for, what appears to be a chronic truck parking issue on the property when you come here to the municipal building on the corner of Mine Road and 173. It is private property. Those trucks are, from what we can tell, not owned by the property owner, but the property owner is responsible for what happens on their property. So a letter went out requesting that they secure their property in a better manner to prevent trucks from parking there at night. Enforcement is an issue because those are not the property owner's trucks. By the time somebody notifies state police, the truck is probably left or back out on the road. So the only course we thought we could take was to reach out to the property owner and request proper securement, and we'll figure out next steps if that is not.
The issue with that is it looks like it's part of the rest area,
It does.
that it's, the westbound rest stop.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah. Now, we sympathize and understand what's happening with the trucks
Right.
and the drivers and the requirements. But we're trying to be responsible to our residents who
Yep.
don't appreciate it, and I support them in that. So I just want to be clear that we're trying to find out efforts and what the challenge is. It's not a direct violation, again, because those are not the property owner's trucks. Report of Department of Public Works, was emailed to, Ms. Nelson.
I mean, they've been spending a lot of the winter just responding to emergencies and repairing the equipment because they're responding to all of the emergencies, all the trucks and a lot of plowing being done this year, a lot of cleaning up of the roads and unfortunately down trees.
I spoke to our supervisor today on an agreement called a nuisance storm. It causes more problems than just like a real snowstorm.
Yep.
And being budget conscious, I don't appreciate that they all come after hours and on weekends.
Yeah,
I wish the storms were more considered working hours. Report of tax collector is tabled until the February 20th meeting. The report of animal control official was emailed to us. believe there's only one note on there. Report of Environmental Commission as well, email, and moving on to report of Township Attorney.
Just wanted to reiterate, that we're filing our affordable housing declaratory judgment action in Hunterdon County tomorrow. And the big deadline is June 30th, so the planning board and our planner will be working to put together a plan for compliance with round 4 of Mount Laurel litigation, which aims to require the municipalities to provide a reasonable opportunity for affordable housing. So I encourage everyone to go to the planning board meetings and be involved with that process for round 4 as well. That's all.
Thank you. Also, there are some bills floating out there, still trying to challenge from some significant legislatures, so we will see where it goes. But for now, Bethlehem will do its best to comply with the law as it's presented. Report of Personnel Technical Support Coordinator, Ms. Thompson.
I would just like to thank Jen. We have engaged with the new technical vendor for tech support up here, and we've been working, and Jen has been meeting a lot with them on getting all of our systems and servers together.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Report of Roads Commission. Thank you, Ms. Thompson. You guide us very well on technology. Regardless of vendor, appreciate the work you put in.
Yeah, I crawl around on the floors around here, tracing the wires all over the place. Yeah.
Report of Roads Coordinator. Anything else to add?
Actually, Paul, I want to turn this part over. I do want to add something for Public Works, and that is how the roads were cleared today, because it was a little different. You had a really good report, if you wouldn't mind reiterating that.
It's been a strategy across multiple supervisors. When we have ice situations, it's best. So we're known to be on Blacktop, one of the best cleared townships and municipalities in the region. But when it's predicted to be an ice situation, ice sticks to the road, and at certain temperatures, salt doesn't work. And in addition, we don't want to use excessive salt. So usually the strategy is we'll go out and we will pre-salt the roads and then let whatever snow accumulate, and in anticipation of that ice. So we're leaving a couple inches of snow under the ice so that we go to plow, it breaks up the ice and takes it off the road. So yes, there was a delay in response on some of the roads. We coordinated with the schools. We would have changed that plan if the schools had delayed opening, and tried to tackle it a little bit differently. But the ideal plan is to have a slight snow cover and pull that ice off in that manner. So you'll see that. I try to publicize it because it is different than the usual snowstorm that we might have. The only thing that I'd like to add, I also shared on social media, but it's for a public meeting, is please remove your vehicles from the roadways and garbage cans from the roadways, especially when it's a situation. Our trucks are meant to be out there in the snow, but they are 2-wheel drive construction dump trucks for the most part. And we don't need to have extra obstacles as we're out plowing, and especially in the developments, which is where a lot of the cars are left. The roads are a little bit narrower, and cul-de-sacs, there's not a lot of places to put the snow. So if a vehicle is in the way, it just makes it that much more difficult for those who are out there. So please be considerate of that. We try not to, but what we will do is, if it's habitual, we'll leave a letter in your mailbox from our DPW supervisor. And then after that, we will ticket vehicles through the state police. And I think I've been up here 14 years as an elected official. I think we've towed one vehicle in 14 years, but if it is that bad, we will work with the state police to get the vehicle towed from the roadway.
And I'd like to thank them for all their hard work this winter, because it has been taxing on them and time away from their families.
Thank you. And like I said, it's difficult. It's always at odd times, and they're not very distinctly. There's not a clear path of what these storms are doing this year. Report of Joint Professional Service Coordinator, that's myself. I have no update for this evening. Report of Highlands Council Coordinator, Ms. Thompson.
Yeah, I just want to update everyone that I will be joining the Environmental Commission meeting this coming month. I guess it's in a few weeks. Has to do with, and Suzanne, you might even be able to fill in here about the proposed educational center over in Van Sickles. And I was told that the Highlands is going to be involved in that. So I will be joining your meeting for that.
We should make sure John Jimenez is there, because he
Yeah,
knows more than I do.
okay, yep, good, so that's my update.
Thank you. Report of governing body members, and just for the record, I do this based on elected seniorities. So, Mr. Cotton, you'll always be, first as our newest member.
I have nothing.
Okay, it's a great report. Mr. Kennedy? You got.
Very little. I just want to say again, thanks to the DPW and guys, they're doing a great job. Literally at dark 30 hours, I saw them out working. So I hope everybody appreciates how hard they work and how difficult it is for them to do what they did. So kudos to them.
Thank you. Ms. Olson?
Just want to add, Tom did briefly mention in his update that, we are meeting next week. It is on February 12th down at, Heritage Park. I don't know if you're going to be there or not. On where to place the vendor for the pickleball court down there.
I have no idea what pickleball, how to play it, or what
Oh, it's
the
great.
court, but I'll be there.
It's just, it's a tiny tennis court. So it's about what we can fit down there. And that's it right now.
Okay. We're putting in like a race course for cars. Report of Township Administrator this morning.
I spoke with, a gentleman who came to do our digitizing for our electronic, for our files. There is a grant out there through, OEM for digitizing, the grants. So there's an application, it's due, April, so we could get up to like $100,000 to digitize our files, so it was very, very costly. When he was here and gave the proposal, so that is something I didn't know if we wanted to look into.
I would like to pursue that, so what we share is that we investigated digitizing files, especially starting with land use, because those are the ones that are usually called upon for reference more often than not, and there are great efficiencies to be had, especially for a small staff such as ours. However, the initial upfront cost was significant for a municipality our size, so if we can find grant opportunities to take advantage of those efficiencies, I would suggest that we find all ways to apply. I'll support, help write, whatever we need to do.
All right, I'll reach out to him and find out about the application. And then in regards to pet licensing, Monica's here 1 day a week, so I just want to let you know she's doing her best to get the licenses out to everybody. She does have a big stack, but she's pushing out like 80 licenses a day. She's trying, so she's with her limited time, she is doing the best that she.
I don't know. They must have lost power or something up there. You're a mute.
I can hear you. So
Yeah. Oh, the connection is up. It's just
Yeah.
down to the municipal building.
yeah,
They must have lost power.
Yeah, thought you just didn't want to talk to us anymore.
Let me see if I can get a hold of them.
Okay, I can call too.
Hey, did you lose power or something?
Yeah, I'm answering. I'm answering Paul's phone.
Yeah, well, you dropped off. You dropped off the connection.
Is pushing an update to us.
Oh, you're kidding.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Microsoft is pushing an update to the PC, so it won't down.
Oh, darn.
I know. We can't bring it back up because it's doing it's installing a patch.
All right. Well, you're almost at the end there. I'll end the
you.
meeting then.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good night.
Night.
Wonderful Microsoft is pushing some kind of update to their PC, which has knocked Zoom offline.
Yeah.
So, folks, we're going to end the meeting for online users now, unless anybody has any questions for Mr. Kenny. Okay, Bob. It's good
All
to see
right.
you.
All right. Thanks, Lou. Thanks,
Okay,
everyone.
I'll drop off.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.